I don't know what I'm doing. Hello. Today we're going to talk about the cervical spine, the neck, and how you can get stiff neck. Things that will help you eliminate stiff neck and, you know, a normal Emily video with weird shit in between.
He's gonna dive into an ordinary glass of water.
So, there's a lot of range of motion in the cervical spine. You can fold your cervical spine, your neck forward about 80 to 90 degrees. You can tilt it backwards about 70 degrees. You can go from side to side about 90 degrees. And you can laterally move the cervical spine about 20 to 45 degrees depending on the person. So it's a very, very mobile area. It's a very, very mobile part of the spine, which means that there is a mess ton of muscles all up in here to make sure that our heads don't just fall. Which also means that these muscles can get tight because heads are heavy. So there are 7 vertebrae in the cervical spine. C1, C2 is about where your skull meets your spinal column, spine. And then C7, you can actually trace them down the neck. C7 is the first really big bumpy one that it's about where your shoulders are. So typically we get stiff necks from bad posture and misuse of muscles.
You want arms like these?
Something else that can cause a lot of neck issues is looking at your phone for a long period of time, looking down or looking down and then like weirdly up at a phone, much like I'm doing right now. Driving a lot, kind of doing the same thing. So bending over, it's really just, it's from just bad posture. Now, when I say stiff neck, I don't mean degenerative discs. I don't mean bulging discs in the cervical spine. I'm just speaking to stiff and sore muscles and knots in muscles. So disclaimer there. Your C1, C2, those ones that are up by your skull, are responsible for about 50% of your neck movement, right? So of your head movement. So when you can turn your head, a lot of that comes from C1, C2. So if your neck is so stiff that you're literally rotating your torso to see rather than just your head, there's a good chance that the tightness is up in the top of your neck. If you can rotate your neck about 45 degrees, the issue is probably lower down the cervical spine. So middle to down. So then you're looking at levator scap, the muscle that runs from up to here all the way down to the shoulder blade, and the muscle that covers the levator scap is the upper trap. So you're looking at all of that good stuff. So you have a stiff neck, what can you do? The first thing that I would recommend is note how ergonomic your work from home setup is. Issues with stiff necks have increased since people have been working from home so much. And the number one issue is no one has a desk set up for 8 hours a day at their house. So something to make sure that is basic ergonomics for working from home is when you sit at your desk, you want your knees to be slightly below your hips. Feet should be able to be stable and on the floor. Keep your computer or phone or whatever you're working on at about eye level, so you're not having to look down too long or up too long. You can sit up straight with a straight back and look forward. The other thing that you should be able to do with your arms, and this will get into the traps a lot, I think, is if you're sitting with a straight back, your arms should be level to your desk. So you shouldn't have to lift your shoulders to put your arms on your keyboard. And if you find that you're doing this, you will definitely have tight neck issues. I noticed that my husband had, he's been complaining about a stiff neck. That's one of the reasons for this video. And he has a knot in his trap. And then I went upstairs and I noticed that one of his chair arms was slightly higher than the other one. And so the experiment, he fixed it last night, is whether or not that was what was causing it. That small change where his shoulder was up higher than the other one. So this muscle was working a little bit tighter than this one. So it's really just taking a look at what you're working on, where you're working, and seeing how you can fix it. Something that a lot of articles say that I find kind of tone deaf right now, but I'm sure the articles weren't written in 2020, 2021, in the COVID era, is try to minimize your stress. A lot of people hold tension in their neck and in their hips. So if you hold tension in your neck, try to relax. Allow yourself some time for exercise. Allow yourself maybe some breathing techniques. That kind of thing. Just a nice relaxing thing. Another thing that you can do to maybe help stress is remove yourself from work. Like literally stand up and walk away. Not only is that helping you move and helping you get your posture kind of reset after an hour of work, but it also helps you just kind of reset your space. Even if it's just to go get a drink of water or go to the bathroom or whatever, that's also very, very helpful. Let's talk about sleep. So something else that causes stiff necks is how you sleep. I am a stomach sleeper, and I'm trying really hard to not be. I fall asleep on my stomach. And something that I realized about stomach sleepers, and it's obvious when you think about it, but I don't think when I sleep when I sleep. If you're a stomach sleeper, you can't sleep on your pillow, you'll die. It's just not how pillows work. So if you're sleeping on your stomach, you are literally taking your joint and holding it at its peak range of motion for hours at a time. That is a really good way to get a stiff neck. So try not to sleep on your stomach. Sorry, stomach sleepers. I'll just go to the couch. What am I doing? Welcome to the couch. So if you're a stomach sleeper, see how my head is turned all the way to my shoulder? And yeah, it feels good for now, but it can cause issues. If you're sleeping on your side, I would argue that this is not a great pillow for this. Notice how my neck isn't straight, it kind of goes up a little. So you just want to make sure that your pillow is gonna hold your head up in line with the rest of your spine. It's a little tricky to get. You have to be very specific about your pillows. Obviously, the way everybody says you should sleep is on your back so that your neck can just be in its natural curved state. We're back. Okay. We're gonna talk about some exercises and some stretches that you can do to help with a sore neck. Big disclaimer here, if it hurts, don't do it. So if you try it once and you're like, ooh, that made it worse, don't do it again. That seems like common sense, but I feel like I need to say it. The first one we're gonna do are just chin tucks. It's where you pull your chin in. And I don't mean pull your chin up or down, it's straight back. So you wanna form as many chins as possible here. So if you think about your chin going forward, I want you to think about going straight back like this. So you're elongating that levator scap right back here. So when you're sitting like this all the time, looking at your phone or whatever, the chin tuck stretches those muscles. And I have covered that a little bit in upper body posture videos from a while back. And I would hold those for 30 seconds and do them about 3 times. The next one we'll do that I think is fascinating are called snags. There's a fancy word that I can't pronounce. I'm not even gonna try, so I'm gonna put it here. So snags. Grab a towel. This is just a kitchen towel. You can also use a yoga strap if you have one of those laying around. But I like to use more household items, so towel. Put the towel around your neck. So what you'll do is you'll grab the left side with your right hand and the right side with your left hand. Pull down with the left hand, lift the right side up, cross over your jaw, and find that rotation. Hold for 30 seconds, come back, repeat 3 times each side. So if you want to do the other side, you'll grab the right side with your left hand, left side with your right hand, come up, there you go. One thing to note, and this is the most important thing if you're gonna do these, Notice how I went up to my jaw and then over. I did not go across my throat because that's how you breathe. And we don't want to not breathe. That's how death happens. So make sure you go up and then over. And the cool thing about the towel is it kind of holds the vertebra where you want it to be. It kind of holds it still so you can move on the axis, but make sure you move very, very mindfully as you do it. You can also do this with chin tucks. So you can bring your chin in like this, and then you can do this, and you pull down on one end and up on the other with the chin tuck. Shoop. "30 seconds per side, 3 times each side." The next one, we're gonna stretch out the levator scap, and I really, really, really like this one. I think it's very cool. So what you're gonna do, tap your shoulder blade with your right hand. This is not necessary to do if you can't quite reach, you have really big arms, or you just don't have the flexibility in your tricep. That's okay. You don't have to do this, but it does anchor the shoulder blade down. The levator scap goes here-ish and then attaches at the shoulder blade. So what you're doing is anchoring one end of that muscle by pulling the shoulder blade down and keeping it down by putting your arm in this position. Then you'll grab the back of your head, like right where my ponytail is, like right at the top back of your head. And you're not gonna pull your head to the side, you're not gonna pull it forward, you're gonna pull it more towards your knee in the opposite direction of the anchored shoulder. Very gently. You should really feel this along the back of your neck. Nice, I'll do the other side just for the sake of evenness. 30 seconds per side, 3 times per side. You can always do it 2 times per side if you would like, if you're running out of time, and you can pick and choose which ones you want. The last one that we're gonna do will help stretch out the upper trap a little bit more. I'm sitting on my right hand. It's underneath my right butt cheek. Place your, and that's again, just to anchor down the shoulder. And you place your hand on your head and gently pull your head down to your shoulder. You should really feel this almost all the way up what feels like your ear and then all the way down to the shoulder. Sitting on your hand really does help. Again, you don't have to. 30 seconds per side, 3 times per side. Okay, you've done your stretches, your neck still hurts. I get it. The next thing I would recommend, ice and heat, alternating. I would say about 15 minutes tops for both, maybe even 10 minutes tops for both, and then alternate. That will help decrease inflammation and then help the muscles relax. Decrease inflammation, help the muscles relax. If you put heat on the area that hurts and it makes the pain worse, it means there's still a lot of inflammation there and it's not ready for the heat yet, so keep ice on it. And as always, and I've gone on this rant before, you can use over-the-counter medicines. Just be cautious of how many you take. They are not very good for you. They do kind of really attack the liver and kidneys over time. So just be aware of that. One last thing that I will say, if you have neck pain for longer than a week, you should really call your doctor. And I did this. Call your doctor, even though phones aren't shaped like this anymore. Something else to note, if you have neck pain and you have other symptoms along with that, like headache, fever, nausea, vomiting, or unexplained sleepiness, that could be a symptom of something much more serious. So please, please, please call a doctor, go to the doctor as soon as you can if you have the symptoms with the others. There is a myriad of other things that it could be causing, so go to your doctor. That's all I have for you today. I hope I can make this funnier and cut it down because it's been 20 minutes. Bye!
You know, sometimes me conscience kind of bothers me. But not this.